jail's not that bad. It's
All views expressed by the hosts and guests in this podcast are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of their respective employers. Guests and hosts may maintain positions in the assets discussed in this podcast. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and nothing in the podcast is intended to be financial, legal, or even live advice.
We are live and alive, by the way, but nice to connect again, man. We have met way back when.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that also.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
In Singapore, we met.
Yeah.
Different times back then.
Different times, yeah. Now, the market is much more interesting. I was just gonna ask Lambro, how's your monad airdrop?
I did all right. I trenched it yesterday. Ended up just making a little bit more, but I didn't sell just to see it out. But it's kind of crazy, right? Such a hype project and couldn't even get one token over 20 mil.
Yeah, it's more of a condition of the markets, but yeah.
No. I don't know, man. I'm a bit disappointed. At least there's trillions on XPL for a few days, right? That's the thing.
It's 3.3 bill.
Cool. Yeah, we usually just go about this live in which we just ask you questions about your product, about your background, and so on. I think it's sort of very, very timely. We obviously looked at the website before the call, and I'm very excited to hear from you sort of the changes that you've been developing. And I think on your Twitter bio you also put a teaser T-7 days or something like that, right? So yeah, would want to hear a bit more about all that, but let's take a step back. I'll let you start, Lambro.
Let's start with some rapid fire questions. Don't feel free to just answer them quickly. Gut feel, shoot from the gut is fine.
Right.
All right. Which chain do you have the DeFi opportunities right now as a user?
That would be Solana and Monad. Chain, okay.
Yeah.
Then Solana, backed by us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, why? As a user, not a builder, by the way.
Yeah, as a user, the kind of things that are unlocking because of the Solana microstructure, I think it's one of the most interesting and rich market microstructure in Solana right now, where SOL, USDC, and a lot of these majors have their trading slippage reduced to less than a bips as compared to centralized exchanges, and we have still. It's sitting at the base of the exponential, where this new microstructure called prop AMMs have simply changed the game. So now there is more robust market making has come in, where Monad listed on day one on Solana, right? And that is a very new paradigm. Now this I see this as there is a post prop AMM DeFi and a pre-prop AMM DeFi, right? And once this change happens, we're still in the first innings of this thing, right? And now the newer Lego blocks, basically think of it as the liquidity layer has become 100x more liquid and giving you more the best prices, the best liquidity right now. Then the Lego blocks over top of them get better and better over time, in the sense of merging with these primitives in that sense.
Before jumping into my next rapid fire question, what made this slippage so low? Is it the liquidity? Is it the tech finality? Or is it just
the speed, perhaps?
MMs?
Yeah, so it's a combination of a bunch of things. Also a combination of how Solana is designed and the microstructure is designed. So it's enabled by artist engineers figuring out very micro optimizations. So they figured out a way to reduce the cost of sending an Oracle update on chain. So now what you have is a sort of a market maker program loaded directly into the validator, which is sitting talking directly to the Solana blockchain. So there is no round trip latency. There's no get code, and then some market maker is doing it on a back end and then processing that code on chain. This is literally an organism sitting on the chain, and they are ingesting it extremely fast every 10 milliseconds. The point price of the entire market, which is coming from, let's say, Binance or other points of the view. So this is getting like the best price, and then they start quoting very fast, right? So
So
yeah.
this so this means that it's not just the Solana pairs actually. This will enable any pair that has like some sort of meaningful liquidity on Solana technically.
Yeah,
Because
right. That is why ZDC has become trading, like liquid volume has become a sizable part of in Solana land, and then Monad was trading as good like trading volume as Coinbase on day one listing, right? So uh, this is like,
interesting.
yeah, a new beast in town, and we are still like figuring out, okay, how does the DeFi layer now benefit from this? And we are also very, like, we are integrating with prop AMMs ourselves in the product, so which I can touch later on. But like finishing the question here.
Nice. What do you think the state of DeFi market right now is?
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
Love the honesty. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the market right now from a macro lens is still figuring out like their like the world is kind of like in a very world is still waking up to the idea of financial nihilism and what the Fed has done, and like
Right.
played poker with you, counter poker with you for the last 10-15 years. And now the sudden interest rates going up, and now and where there's no predictability of some sorts, right? And like the US Treasury bonds sort of like are started to become like junk bonds, or they're like really the sovereign like this premium that they used to get. So it's very hard to predict, because we are in a very uncharted territory where there is world powers changing, and then you have US, China, and everything. So it's not like a very predictable environment. So crypto is just part of this entire macro cycle. I would say BTC is getting a little, like, my intuitive take is like BTC is at least getting a little detached from this entire thing and having its own carving. But like Solana is at the day, Solana or ETH can be priced as a tech platform, at least from the Wall Street perspective of like people coming in from a fundamental value perspective or some kind of cash flows perspective, like how they've marketed DATs and so on. So like I think the DAT cycle is finally coming to an end. So once this rotation starts to come into where I feel like the DATs, whoever is owning the DAT and has like a $2-3 billion, they are going to plow a lot of this into DeFi, especially like on the Solana side, which I'm very familiar about, is that because they need to generate ROI on that, other than just holding that asset. So I feel like that is when the DeFi plumbing gets activated, and then over time you can see the pricing in alts going up. But there's going to be a while until the macro market picks up, like Sol BTC picks up in my head.
Understood. Hey, thanks for sharing that. I didn't even realize the Monet spot volume is higher on Solana than Hexel. Question, how many percent do you think those are arbitrage or the quickest route to exit, or is it genuine trading, organic trading interest?
Right. So right now, the most of the quote that is coming from is from a prop AMM. So there is no passive LP arbitrage which happens through like the sort of call like the vanilla AMMs of the space, like a
Right.
V2 or a V3 AMM, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have the oracle price, so they need to be balanced through an arbitrage. So that's toxic flow there, right?
Yeah.
This prop AMM is like a very specialized market maker. Like they know Edwards selection, and they know inventory risk and so on. And they like I'm not wary of the details, but they're probably getting some more to market make on chain as well, right?
I see.
So obviously there is arbitrages happening. Like our CTO is a MEV expert, so he keeps scanning these chains for details. So obviously there's like tiny arbitrages happening, but that's part of any healthy like market. Like MEV is just a thing that we need to accept when you're building decentralized systems. But obviously there is a benign MEV and there is a toxic MEV. So I feel like the toxic MAV has reduced just by the magnitudes of not leaking it to passive MMs or retail MMs, but having a proper market maker who is just like uh, doing adverse selection between other market makers, or between like just the arbitrageurs on chain, which are searchers or MAVs. So the degree to it, I don't have a specific answer. I just have an intuitive answer right now, because we're still very early in understanding all of these primitives at this point.
Interesting. Oh, so quickly into the podcast, and I've learned
Yeah, I
something
was like,
new. Other than perks right now, what do you think is the most interesting in DeFi right now?
I feel Perps have lived their story out, right? So I never found Perps that interesting, other than like, okay, there's a new primitive in town, and TradFi used to use very different primitives to express a very like a perpetual long, and DeFi came up with a new primitive, which is a perpetual future contract, short for perp, to express that long, right? So that's one way, and it's beautiful that it's how it's built, like this 400-500 billion dollar on-chain market, especially like that market has also grown up in the centralized exchanges. So that's like the perp side. I feel like myself, I feel DeFi is still in like the very toy phase of, like, we've barely scratched the surface of the systems we have created, which is a programmable ledger. And this I feel like what initial Ethereum white paper wrote about is still like the ideas got like how do you say, there were initial cyberpunks, and then they made money, or they retired, or they started doing something else. And then there is I feel like there is a new class of cypherpunks, like, who are like enabled by the technology, enabled by what the Lego blocks you can combine to do, and so on, with the new infrastructure that has come into play. So with Ethereum, there are a lot of bunch of ideas written in Reddit white papers or in blogs, which are never possible because of the underlying infrastructure, right? And they always wrote it as a point that, okay, when the infrastructure will get to this point, like a Solana point or a Monad point, then we are unlocking new kinds of possibilities in DeFi, which was not possible before. And for example, like Shilling, my venture, like, it's only possible of the infrastructure that is created in the last 18 months, in that sense. So I'm looking forward to all those class of applications that were not possible before in the last 18 months, like the new infrastructure that has come up. And so that's what makes me interested in DeFi. At least on the DeFi side, I would say the spot markets, because like on spot you can build like all these Lego blocks on top. Perf usually does not need spot that much. It just needs a USDC deposit and a market maker and an Oracle. So you don't need much. That's why perp exchanges are very easy to bootstrap and run those very fast. Obviously, it's a beast of a risk engine, and like, kudos to Hyperliquid and all these people who run risk engines. These are extremely like very very sophisticated risk engines. But if you know them how to run them, it's a very closed loop ecosystem. So you can know, okay, these are the risks, these are the returns, and then you can just run away with it.
Nice. This is going to be a good chat. You're not the bullshit type of guy. All right, bro. Do you mind giving us a quick intro about yourself, so everyone has a little bit more context?
Yeah.
yeah, like what you're working on and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been I'm a computer engineer by degree, but mostly learned all of it on the go myself. I come from a country which experienced the problems that DeFi and crypto wanted to solve, which is censorship resistance. Like our country, just the prime minister of the country woke up one day and decided to ban like 50% of the circulating supply of the country. And I was like, why does somebody has this kind of a power where they can just press a button and then like a million people can die? So I don't like that, right? And I don't like somebody having that ability on me. And I realized that the thing that I'm running after is money, and I don't understand money because nobody teaches money to anybody. So I basically taught myself what is money. I realized that okay, my fiat is a meme, Bitcoin is a meme. Like, what are new memes coming up which I can preserve my wealth in? And that got me into crypto. And I've been a DeFi engineer since the last 5 years. Before Solana, I was building in the Polkadot ecosystem, where I followed Gavin Wood, basically like the city of Ethereum, made
Yes.
a new project, and all of the ideas that you see in Polkadot ecosystem are basically copied now in Ethereum without credit, I would say. That's how I look at it. All the sharding infrastructure, all the layer twos, like Polkadot did them, like obviously from the ground up, and
Yes.
built like a good infrastructure. Obviously, Ethereum is like hot patching this because they have a live L1 there which needs to be upgraded over time. So, but then we were part of like the top 10 teams building there. I launched a protocol that crossed 130 million TVL there as well. But over time realized that there's not a lot of focus on like getting like the mainstream DeFi getting adopted, and not from the ecosystem perspective and so on. So I decided that okay, what's like blockchains are like quasi religions, right? They are both a social philosophy, social constructs, getting people buying into your vision and to your token, which leads liquidity into the ecosystem. And then it's also the tech. So you need both engines running at top speed, and that was something that I learned over time building in the space. So I realized, okay, these are the two vectors that I'm looking into. Okay, what's like the founders who have good sense on their shoulders, know their technology, I can learn from them. That got me into Solana, and so far I've been really happy building in the Solana space because of the intellectual honesty coming from the top down and the bottom up, where nobody's like really bullshitting themselves of like where we are, what we are building for, what are the use cases of these technologies, which is a very narrow use cases that we found product market fit in, and then we are going to develop on that front.
Okay.
Got it. Yep.
Can you give us the 2, 3 quick lines of what you're building right now on Solana?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Asgard?
Yeah, so Asgard is a platform to help investors take structured positions in internet capital markets. So structured positions is any position that you are combining a bunch of DeFi Lego blocks and executing in the spot market of the internet capital markets. This is the thing that I really think about, that internet capital markets have become uh, they were in 2014 they were about $6 to $7 billion of total market cap, and now they are a $4 trillion market caps, given the bull side of the market. And these internet capital markets have opened up economic opportunities for people like me and for people all across the globe, where a meme that I really like is TCP IP is the new H1B visa, right?
Yeah. Okay.
This is funny
Right.
shit.
So you don't need to have economic lottery, or you don't have the privilege to go to
Yeah.
US capital markets or any other capital markets of the world. You can be a valuable member of the economy, having an internet global capital markets, which is like a very sci-fi. I read a lot of sci-fi, and this is a lot what I see happening now when you start to think about a global planetary scale capital markets. So that is what we are doing. We are helping investors execute structured positions in these markets, starting from Solana, where we think that that's the currently the leading backend for the internet capital markets to form.
Okay. Let's just break it down a little bit more. What can it do in stage one, and how does it work?
Right. So the first product where the kind of position that you can take is a credit backed position. So a short for CBP. So a credit backed position, as the name goes, is that we I wanted to build something where I can own what I believe in at the price I believe in, without worrying about liquidity. Right. So let's say a simple example is I wanted to. I have $1,000. I saw BTC at 85K right now, and my salary is coming next month. right? Or it's like I have low liquidity right now, right? So what I can do is I can come on Asgard. I can say, hey, I have $1,000. Can I pledge it and get a loan against it? And Asgard provides a credit facility, and then you get like, let's say, $5,000 against it. So now you have like a $6,000 buy on the Solana blockchain with so that becomes your asset side with a liability of $5,000, right? So this becomes like in like an entire credit backed position, which you can either maintain it or you can repay it over time as well. And I can go into the things that DeFi uniquely involves, but it's like the gist of it.
Okay. So you enable credit. It's almost like a lending protocol ish that allows you to leverage, but where is the where's the credit from? Where is the collateral from, etc.
Right. So you're basically so Asgard is aggregating all the money markets in Solana DeFi. So we have about $3 to $4 billion of credit that is freely accessible uh, to Solana DeFi people, and we structure them in a way where we have combined the money markets with the liquidity markets, the spot markets together, in a seamless interface where it's just one click. You don't need to worry about what's the best money market or the best liquidity source right now. The Asgard router figures it out automatically, seeing the best liquidity source. Obviously, we take the responsibility as a curator of vetting all the things that you are integrating, and so on. So that's like the V1 of it, as where the user can go and click this, and then over time we take more and more responsibilities as the protocol succeeds in that direction.
Okay, so you aggregate liquidity from swap and lending through various Solana.
Right.
How do you, let's say, cross the collateral through different places, or how do you construct? Using your example, let's say I have $1,000, but I want to buy $3,000 worth of Solana. Like,
Right.
what is the collateral? What interest am I paying based on, etc., etc.
Right. So basically, what you're doing is you have this intent, right? That $1,000, I want to buy $3,000. Now Asgard figures out, okay, where can I source $3,000 worth, $2,000 worth of loan, right? Because I need $2,000 worth of USDC against your $1,000 USDC, right? It scans all the money markets, figures out like where's the lowest borrow costs, or you're getting some advantage on like lending there as well, because the collateral, the credit back position is also getting lent, so you're also getting like the lending interest there as well. So automizing all of this, we figured out, okay, this is the money market. We deposit all of that and then buy, because we have the amplified buying power of a $3,000. We buy Solana on the spot market and then deposit it into the money market itself. So now it becomes like, okay, there's a $3,000 SOL with a $2,000 liability, and your $1,000 become like a down payment that has like made this position as a whole. Now you can manage this on Asgard. Like you have a lot of like tools that are coming up, which are like partial foreclosure, for loan foreclosure. You can auto repay using the yields of your lending yields. You can also like do a way to like have a 24/7 automated loan protection where you're never getting foreclosed, through like a ways to like protect your equity in the position. So these are the things that will come up over time.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I think it might be a little bit vague right now because
Right.
there's a lot of functions and listening. Is your UI ready? You guys are not
Yes.
fully live yet, right? Like, maybe you can talk us through that.
Right. So I can share you the UI. Obviously, this is launching very soon, but we are teasing the UI. We are also testing the UI with our power users as well. So let me just share my screen.
So while you're doing that, sort of like my understanding on this, that it's an automation and like optimization tool for wealth managers in Solana, right? So you can manage like loop positions better and like all of that. But it seems that you're taking it one step further, that you're also helping like optimize the credit positions, sourcing different lending markets and so on. Because there have been tools before, mostly in EVM though, that like
Right.
helps you with like your like looping positions and so on. But it sort of like just like stops there. This
Right.
feels like you want to make sure that the capital efficiency is even higher. So there's
Correct.
like other stuff that you're helping with.
Correct. So this is like the pro version of the Asgard terminal. Right now, we are building like a simplified view as well. So, but let's say like I right now I have a BTC at 87. What I can do is simply like go here, and right now what it is saying me that, hey, if you have $100 worth of position and you wanted to buy like a $400 worth of position, then you have everything explained here with like, okay, what are like the possibilities of where can I get it. So it's automatically recommending you the best money market source, and there is going to be more and more money markets coming up as more and more people are building in the space. And then it's like a simple like one button buy, where if you can see where you can see here on the on like I've bought like a JLP with only $1 worth of collateral, and also like it unlocks new use cases where you can buy SOL using ETH, and you can buy SOL using BTC, which is making a like a pair trade on the market. So these kind of things are really light, like as Marco said, right? Like this is a tool primarily we have built with in the mind of the liquid funds in the space and the hedge funds in the space who are driving a lot of these volume on the spot, and they needed a tool to figure out like I want to use the credit markets as a way to combine them with the perp markets, right, as well. Like these are like the power use cases of how you use the credit markets on the spot and the perp markets or the futures. So you can have like a delta neutral position as well in that sense. So but obviously like we've also built it for retail, where retail is like, hey, I just wanted to buy a lot of like BTC, SOL, and like any of my mid cap or large cap tokens, and I don't have the liquidity for it, so I can just like go and execute this. So for example,
Is there
mhm,
how much additional smart contract? I don't want to say the word risk or so are these. If I'm doing this on JLP and USDC
right.
pools, are you just helping me putting my money in Jupiter, or do you actually set up a new wallet, a new smart contract that goes to JLP, etc.?
Right. So we have an intermediary smart contract that is noticing and managing like all of these positions. And the way we think about it is that the Asgard smart contract is like 24/7 has automations built into it, which can also detect if something gets wrong on the protocol side of things, right? So like the POV is that we are integrating with audited protocols that we have studied. So my CTO and I come from an auditing background. Before Asgard, we were running an auditing firm in Solana. So we basically like built our repertoire of knowledge, auditing protocols, and then writing the only handbook on Solana called security.superteam.fun. And so coming to this, like one is like obviously like the Asgard smart contract has knowledge of what protocols to work in, what protocols to not go in, and also has like a risk protection facility that, hey, if something is wrong, we just close out the positions and come out, right? Something like what Forta on EVM side of thing does.
So just to confirm, there is an intermediary like smart contract like at play,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, yeah,
Uh,
got it.
Without which like we thought like there is obviously right now the Asgard V1 provides you a way where you don't take that intermediary risk as well, right? So you can unlock, like for example, these positions which you see right now, they have no sign right now that they have an Asgard logo here, which means that they are open directly without taking any Asgard smart contract
I
risk.
see.
right?
I see. Yep.
But you have the ability. So any, like, the way is that we don't force you, but we upsell you that these are the all the advances that you're getting in if you are taking the advantage of Asgard's facilities.
Makes sense.
Obviously, like, the lindiness of trust needs to be built over time. So that's like we're going like step one, step two, step three in that sense.
Got it.
Understood. So how does so what's your business model then? Like in terms of like fees, in terms of like how as a protocol, as a company, how do you make money?
Right. So we are making money on like the brokerage of, like, providing you the swap facility and the aggregator routing, all of this in one place. So we are obviously like tweaking our business models as we see in the market. So far, we have like an open and closed fees combined makes it like 0.1%, which is like 10 bips, right? And basically seeing the market, how it evolves, like how we fare in the market. So that's like one point of it. The second point of it is like all the structured positions that you enable through Asgard, which is like credit protection, or like automations, like any automation that you trigger in basis your credit position has a fees there as well. So yeah, so the idea would be that more over the time, I feel like there is no mode in like having brokerage fees. Over time, like that is a race to the bottom. So I see like the Asgard structured positions like becoming more and more valuable in terms of what you can express through Asgard. Like, credit backed positions is just like the V1 of what you can express on Asgard. So over time, like we have a huge roadmap of the things that we want to execute on. So
Understood.
like, we're going to make money. Yeah.
Okay. Taking a step back, right? Like, so, impressed, happy with the product. It's rare to have a lot of people building real things in crypto other than memes and Launchpad nowadays.
Yeah.
Uh, but okay, you mentioned Solana, you're bullish on it, but what do you think will be the catalyst to make people like Solana again? Why Solana?
Right. Uh, Good question, man. I think it's up to the builders of building a thing which feels not like meme coiny, or like, how do you say, like the long tail of the market, right? And there's like the DeFi uh 2.0, which is like fintech companies, so to say, right? Like very analogy that I think in my head is like Solana is like iPhone, and like now Uber apps need to come in, other because most of the apps right now are like just like servicing the vices of the market, right? Right, which is not, I have nothing wrong against it. I have no judgment. Like, the market wants these things, and entrepreneurs are servicing those needs. I am of the opinion that we there is enough like demand, I feel, in the market as well, especially from the crypto natives, as well as the would you say tradfi natives who don't do these stuff, right? From just understanding of the risk and the opportunity cost of, like, gambling with their capital. So they want some legitimate stuff being built, and they don't want to compromise. Like, I used to onboard people on Polkadot, and I often felt like, man, there's so much that they need to understand before even executing something. And I felt like, man, this is not how we're going to onboard DeFi. And then when you saw with Hyperliquid, it was like, okay, it's one click deposit, and like it's using Privy, and like the Privy and the smart contract wallet phenomena just changed the game. Where with newer apps like FOMO and all of these, it's like one click, and then you're just like Apple Pay, and then you're inside the app without like knowing a lot of stuff. So it's a way better way to onboard people, where they can just like start with $100, and then over time they can learn. Okay, I can put $10,000, I can put $100,000, and then there are differences in how you manage your positions, very similar to how you do it in TradFi as well. You're not thinking about security with $100. You're probably thinking about security at like 100K, right? So psychology of customer user base, And that propagating from that customer psychology is what is changing a lot in Solana right now. And I feel like the talent density of like only like 50 top builders in the space who share like the same mindset that okay, the let the market do its thing. We know that the chain has upgraded enough where we have infra for these new DeFi Lego blocks to come into place, and the mandate which I feel all of the teams in DeFi share in Solana is that fill the blocks. The blocks are going empty right now, and our job is to fill the block with quality order flow. And otherwise, the blocks will not get filled, or will get filled by toxic order flow. In that is
How supportive and how is Solana supporting like a team like you actually?
Yeah, so I feel like Solana keeps the ecosystem keeps you as like how do you say, like how Silicon Valley supports you into building an internet company, right? That is how Solana supports you, where there is no support actually, right? You are uh, you are an entrepreneur, you are building a company, you have possibly a thesis, and you're very selfish about building a $1 billion company or generating shareholder value in that sense, right? Or you have some mission that you want to make a dent in the market, and Solana is just a backend for that, right? So what it does is that okay, we're building this. How can I help? And like, what do you need? You need customers, number one, to validate something. So the teams are very happy to like intro you to potential customers, and then you test your thesis with them. Like I was very fortunate to work with all the money markets that we are integrating, where they introduced us to their power users as well, right? So that is one. The second is you need capital to build what you want to build. So before like the MetaDAO and all of the ICM craze of raising money on chain, Solana provides you intros to the relevant investors. Like they go to bat for you if you're building something good. And obviously, like it's up to you when you're in the room how you present to the investors, how you present to the funds, and then like basically that's like all the help they can do is like get into the right places at the right time. So it's up to you. Like there's no like ecosystem support kind of a situation, which I really like. I don't want to be hand-holded stuff to me. Always want to earn my keep in that sense. So that's like the little glue that Solana provides. It like the way it is built is if you want to take help, not the other way around, right? Like we will not help you in that sense.
Okay, understood. Okay, last questions. Well, two more questions, I guess. Since you're so deep in the Solana ecosystem, what's there worthy to speculate right now?
So interest rates. I speculate a lot on interest rates right now.
Oh,
The
interest rate.
Right.
Where?
So Exponent is one of my favorite protocols, which is similar to Pendle,
Yeah.
right? And obviously, like all these yield trading protocols have found PMF in like the YT side of things, which is like buying
Points.
lottery tickets to points, right? But the underlying primitive is good enough where I am right now speculating on the lending minus borrowing demand of Solana, which is something that is something that I know has a ceiling and a floor, and I can predict accurately basis the demand on the market, right? So that is what I like to speculate on a lot, and we're going to build a lot of these tooling inside Asgard as well. Given like the interest rate derivatives market is like probably 40 times bigger than the options and perps market in TradFi, right? So Perps is basically like we have this like obviously we have this like optical bias, like what we see right now becomes like the entire thing. But when you like zoom out, when you see TradFi on top of it, like you'll feel like okay, Perps and futures are very small market of the entire TradFi market, and all people want to do is like fix interest rates or like speculate on interest rates, especially like the US Treasury bond interest rates in that sense. So I feel like those markets are still very, very underexplored. So
Mm.
that is one. And the second I think of, which is
Sorry, but before we
yeah,
drop off, sorry. Is it called exponential?
Exponent.
Oh. No, I really want to like play around as well.
Right. There's actually three in Solana: Exponent, RateX, and Sandglass. So yeah, right. The OGS team, Liquidity, which both like they gave the design to the prop AMMs. So I would say these become like the thing right now. There's a new protocol called Solstice, which is like Athena of Solana, and you can like buy the YTs of it. What I really like to do is like long short the LSTs of YT. So basically, longing the YT or shorting the YT depending on. So LSTs are they get their yields from like the basic staking rewards as well as the block rewards on chain, right?
Yeah.
Know that if the market is slowing up, I can see the activity slowing down on the Solana land. I know that the LST's yields are going to go down, but the market might not have factored in that yet. So I can go and short it by buying a PT, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and then over time buy a YT. Buy a YT if I see that okay, the bottom has hit in, and now I feel like the market is going up. In that sense, so that's like 10, 20, 15% on capital is which I know for sure there is some sort of predictability to it.
Like, like which market are you trading on in here right now? If you don't mind me asking.
So let's say bulkSOL or any LST like bulkSOL would be a good one. So you're basically also farming bulk points as well. So right now it's giving you like on the YT side, you're getting like 35x exposure, and this is like the implied APY, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, right on the like the 20th, 22nd November, if you see the price, if you go like 3 months, the chart. Yeah. So if you can see the flash crash, the market just wiped off, and so obviously the Solana LST yields came down, right? And then you can like start to like before that you could like short it, and then there was all the times that the market was coming back with the new launches like Monad is coming back and so on. So you can see like the market yields are picking up, so the LST yields are picking up, and then you can long short this market.
Sorry, without the point speculation of bulk, what's the gap typically between like I don't trade like the LST on Solana, so like the base yield is how much, and then how much is the speculative on the MEV or whatever movable, right? Like the higher trading one.
Right. So it can go up to like 20%, right? Uh,
Wow. Okay.
and with leverage, you can like with
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
with
yeah, that's a lot.
credit, you can also amplify this thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can like the delta becomes like 20 upon 7, like a 2x delta of the money you can make there. And you are basically what I like about this is like very positive sum for DeFi because you're balancing the interest rates on the Solana's market. You're basically helping the market price and inefficiency.
Yeah. How would you predict, by the way? So I'm trying to learn about this. I hope you don't mind me drilling so
Yeah,
deep.
definitely.
Like, is there like a site where I can see traffic, or I know like no one is trade like I'm gonna do a very basic. I assume the moving fee is based on bribes, MEV, block rewards, etc.
Right,
Then I assume the more activity, the
right.
more yield it's gonna be. So like I think let's say like pump fund memes is gonna come back in a month and a half. And then right now, is there somewhere that I can see? Oh yeah. The LST rewards is low,
Right.
compared to 6 months ago, and I think it'll come back in 2 months. That's why if I long now, if it goes back half of what 6 months ago were, I can probably like cut like 10% from there, kind of thing. I don't know, is this logic correct?
Yeah. Correct. You're heading in the right direction. So what I do is like I use a Dune a lot, right, for this. So you can basically query the Solana state or Blockworks data just to have two data sources. Like so, you can say, okay, Solana is being used right now very less, and obviously that makes it the LST fees going down. Right, that's like an intuitive way to think about it, and then the LST's rates will compress to their only the staking rate, but the MAVs and fees will compress to basically zero or nothing
Zero.
valuable adding to it. So there's like a floor to it, right? So you wait for the floor or close by floor for your long to come into place. And then you see like, okay, will the Solana activity pick up in some future portion of time, which you can see from the Solana activity, where like is the Solana activity picking up, which I don't know about. Basically, when you see the dune, you feel like, okay, why is something going up? Like you can predict a lot of things just by looking at dune and the market data microstructure that is developed in the last 1-2 days, because that when it Twitter is little delayed in the sense like it will take 2, 3, 4 days for it to resonate on Twitter, and then things go, okay, this meme has gone viral or this token has gone viral. But you can see everything on the chain, like the markets basically allocating a lot of capital to this. So you can see, okay, like Solana's trading volume might pick up, like for example, Monad, like people might, and so on. So the trading volume may pick up. So okay, the LSTs, when they get their yields, will be higher than what it was before.
Nice. This is a very interesting topic. I would love to pick your brains on more. Right before we go off, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. So when you look at Solana right now, what protocols are you using or have had the chance to use other than like Jupiter?
I basically test everything a little bit. I don't yield farm there as much now because without incentives, it's just fair. And I want to I still think there are some smart contract risks in the sense that if the yield is not much higher, I won't do it. I've tested everything. I used to play with RateX quite a bit. But right now I'm not bullish on ecosystem token launching, so I'm not doing YT or PT much. I use a lot of meme coin, like those like GMGN terminals, all those kind of stuff. Perks wise, I haven't been doing much on Solana just because none of them are running like attractive additional points program. Like I might as well do it on lighter, like things that gives me So I'm a very toxic user. I have no loyalty. I like the tech, I like the community, but like it's like if someone's paying my lunch, bro, I'm gonna eat there instead.
Right. This is exactly spot on in the sense that because our own custom Borderland is part two of our roadmap, right? And that is where we are like learning all the demands of the market and like validating. Okay, if you needed like a way, so some alpha that I can share. The problem with a lot of EVM PT looping, so to say, right? The problem is that when you loop a PT, the combined yield is also fluctuating, right, because the borrow cost is fluctuating. So in right, so ultimately it defeats the purpose of like buying a loop of a PT. You're again looped into a volatile loop,
Asset,
right, in that sense. So at Asgard, we have figured out a way to build a PT loop which is actually fixed, right? And where you can encapsulate the entire loop and make a PT of it, right? And then you can like and those would be interesting from a YT perspective as well, because now you are speculating on the lending minus borrowing of the loop, and on the PT side you're basically fixing the loop, right? So we're working closely with Exponent for this. Hopefully we announce that soon, and you should be we will get you the link, and happy to get your feedback on that. But yeah, but on the line that you're right on the on the front of EVM, and the second question is, when you zoom out and the ecosystems you're exploring, what do you think has felt to you like the most, the newest product which felt like, aha, this was like man, this is something new that I haven't seen, because you've been in DeFi for a long time, nothing surprises you anymore, right?
I'm depressed, bro. I'm quitting crypto, so my answer is that
Right.
zero. The only thing I care is token price. Like you see a lot of teams that does a lot of things that you appreciate. Does UI UX really change the new influx of user? Like
Right.
I'm actually quite excited to play things like TriFOMO, like those apps, a little bit more, just
Right.
because I think like whoever is in crypto right now don't optimize for experience, or they will figure a way out. But you need something new that is likely
Correct.
not scalable, less feature, but somehow can get a new bunch of people to come in.
Correct.
But I can't find them too much right now. But
Right.
yeah, like I'm gonna quit crypto for a few months soon. So like
Right.
I'm not the best person to ask. We have too much vehicles and too little good assets. That's the fucking problem.
Right, right, right. And and from a yield perspective, do you see a lot of like when you say the yield markets, do you see that there is a lot of people still doing like these delta neutral trades for yields, like a market neutral position in the
I
space? Is there like a
I
big
think it will come back. I think it will come back.
okay,
Just because a few creators blew up.
right,
The speculation for token is dropping. It feels like early.
right,
Yeah, yeah. It feels like early 2023 about
right,
like things to blow up, and then there's no more bullshit incentivized yield soon. So like you have to go back to organic yield, which is like hard work basically. So I
right,
feel like if you guys launch maybe 2, 3, 4 months later, you probably capture a lot more organic users that it's just like, okay, DeFi is kind of safe again.
right,
I want to go for some natural yield. It's hard to compete, right? Like if
right,
someone offers you to put 100K in a lock for 3 months and give you 30% APR, like why would I use why would I use DeFi, right? And even if
right,
it's not a private deal, it's like oh like Mega Eve's MUSD, right? Like the pre-deposit doesn't is like trust me, bro. There's no smart contract risk right now. You just put it
right,
there, and you're likely gonna get like at least 10% ish. Then people will just do it, right? Which is
right.
like yeah, we promote DeFi, we promote like new vehicle, but like yeah, I don't know. Sorry, bro. I'm very depressed over the market.
Yeah,
All my
definitely. I
answer is
mean,
very sad.
your jadedness and pessimism is on spot. That is a mantle that I have a chip on the shoulder that Lamro will be excited about DeFi in a year's time. Right.
Let's go. Let's
That's
go. Hopefully.
yeah.
All right, last question. What do you think it's required to make it in crypto?
Curiosity. There is zero curiosity about what uh, without curiosity you don't have contrast, because when people like for example, I'll take my example of a friend who was like, why should I buy Bitcoin, right? Where does the value come from? And I was like, why do you hold USD? Where does the value come from? Is the first question that you should answer, right? And so I think that curiosity gets missed at scale. And obviously, like crypto is it's a very global market and a very connected market. It runs 24/7. So there is a mimetic warfare across the whole space where you kind of forget like why you're here. Like like you spawned up, somehow you landed up in some ecosystem, and then you bought into some memes of like either the good meme or the bad meme, depending on what meme you're buying. But then you start to answer like, okay, what is my original thought of why am I here? So I think that starts with intellectual curiosity of like, because that is what can keep you in the space. Otherwise you'll feel like I'll just go, and then like
Yeah.
and then
I
jadedness is, like just finishing that, jadedness and pessimism is right emotions, but but coming from a place of like earnestness versus like everything is shit, like somehow like I feel like that's like how any new technology is. It's very rusty on the edges, and that it gets fit like iterated over time.
I agree, bro. Don't worry. I say I'm done, but like I
Yeah.
still check like 200 message a day. I read
Right.
every single newsletter.
Right.
Like don't worry,
Yeah.
I'm a liar.
Yeah.
I'm in the toxic relationship
Yeah.
with crypto. But yes, I agree. Curious and you want to do something more than just like the typical structure, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, bro. Good chat.
Right.
Let's have a catch up after you guys go public. Thank you
Right.
for all your
Right.
time today, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the time.